Welcome back to Skish, everybody, and today we are going to be going over the new shows for anime coming out winter 2023. These shows will be taking us into the new year, so let's go right in and see what we got going on. First off, there's a lot of shows that are continuing or getting a season 2, so I'm going to list those off really quickly. So if you haven't seen them, you should go back, watch them. And those are To Your Eternity, Bofuri, Danmachi, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, Inspector, and Urusei Yatsura. Just a couple of quick notes on these. First, To Your Eternity Season 2, I think it started off really weak, but it is picking up. Bofuri, I'm very excited for. That show is a lot of fun to watch. Danmachi, I'm kind of iffy on. I wasn't really into the newest season, and this is a continuation of that. So we'll see how that goes. I hope it gets a little better. Nagatoro, as always, it's just Nagatoro messing with Senpai. It's a great show, so I do suggest picking that up if you haven't started it. Inspector Season 2, I was super happy to see got announced. I really enjoyed the first season. Everyone else I talked to who watched it really enjoyed it, and I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this next. And lastly, Urusei Yatsura, which is currently airing now, is just continuing on into this season. So let's go into the new shows that will be airing this season. As always, we're using Live Chart. It is a great way to keep track of everything that's coming out, and everything you want to watch you can go over and click like watching, complete, considering, skipping. It is just a really good way to kind of keep everything together in a good order. First up, we have The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. Mahiru is a beautiful girl whose classmates all call her an angel. Not only is she a star athlete with perfect grades, she's also drop-dead gorgeous. Amane, an average guy and self-admitted slob, has never thought much of the divine beauty, despite attending the same school. Everything changes, however, when he happens to see Mahiru sitting alone in a park during a rainstorm. Thus begins the strange relationship between this incredibly unlikely pair. It comes out January 7th, 2023, comedy, romance, and this studio caught my eye. First thing, I didn't recognize the name, but after going through some of the shows, I have seen some like Higehiro, bottom tier character Tomozaki, The Ryu's Work Is Never Done, and unfortunately Super X Heroes is here too. That was a terrible show. So I kind of know the studio and what they do. It doesn't really make me nervous, but I kind of have a very good idea of what to expect from the show. But it is a weird range because Higehiro was pretty good, I would say, and then you go to Super X Heroes, which was terrible. I'm thinking it'll be better than Super X Heroes, but I don't know. Let's just say I know what to expect from this show. Next up, we have Nier Automata version 1.1a. If you didn't know, this is a game already. I have not played it, but I know people who have, and they really like the game. So I was excited to see that it's getting an anime, but they are kind of nervous that it might kind of flop. I don't know. I need to play it. I'm going to play it, but the anime looks really cool just from the visuals and stuff. Nier Automata tells the story of androids 2B, 9S, and A2 and their battle to reclaim the machine-driven dystopia overrun by powerful machines. Humanity has been driven from the Earth by mechanical beings from another world. In a final effort to take back the planet, the human resistance sends a force of android soldiers to destroy the invaders. Now, a war between machine and android rages on. A war that could soon unveil a long-forgotten truth of the world. It's being done by A1 Pictures, and they have a very good track record with stuff like Sword Art Online, Kaguya-sama. 7 Deadly Sins was kind of garbage, I heard. Your Lie in April was great, though. And Gate was fantastic. Based on the studio, I'm expecting good things from this. They've done really good work before. I know 2B is a really popular character. Anytime we go to a convention or something, someone's always cosplaying 2B. So the character is obviously really popular. Tomo-chan is a girl. Boyish high school girl Tomo Aizawa. Tomo-chan wants her childhood friend Junichiro Kuboto to see her as an actual girl, but every attempt ends in vain. Will Junichiro ever realize Tomo's romantic feelings towards him? We'd love to see the rom-coms. Those are some of my favorites. I've never heard of this studio before. Let's see, have they done a lot of Fates? Oh, Heroines Run the Show was great. Very underrated, so if you haven't seen that, I do suggest watching that show. Seeing Yuri Yuri there as well as Heroines Run the Show, I like don't know what to expect. Since Heroines Run the Show came out way later than Yuri Yuri, I have a better idea of what this might be, but Yuri Yuri was like so different than that show, and I feel like it's going to be fairly different from this. So I think it's going to kind of take more, say, an art direction, an animation direction of Hero Winter on the show, which I really liked. The show looked really good. I have heard of it before. It's just kind of one of those that you hear about. I don't know, I've never read it. I've never really thought about reading it. But I haven't heard bad things, and that's always good. Spy Classroom. Conflict-ravaged nations now deploy covert operatives instead of missiles. Lily is recruited into spy training, but her practical skills are absolutely abysmal. Desperate to pass, she leaps at the chance to join the mysterious Tomobishi team. Too bad the team is filled with even more hopeless spies. Together, they must conquer the impossible mission and best their genius instructor. But the true purpose behind their classroom is more harrowing than they can imagine. A action comedy mystery romance about spies. I'm into it. The art is really what drew me into this show, and that's pretty much what draws me into most things that I end up picking. I like the art. I like the story. It seems pretty good. The studio has done good work. Action comedy mystery romance, that's right up my alley. So I think I'm going to enjoy this show. Kubo won't let me be invisible. Junta Shiraishi has just one goal, to experience youth to the fullest. But this is easier said than done. Junta is so socially invisible that people at school would swear he skipped class even when he's sitting right behind them. Everything changes when Junta meets Nagisa Kubo. She's the only person who pays Junta any attention, and her constant teasing is sure to turn Junta's quiet life upside down because Kubo won't let him be invisible. So this just sounds like Nagatoro. I don't know if it's extra steps or less steps, but we have a guy who no one really cares about, and then a girl who teases him. So pretty much just Nagatoro. Ooh, this studio did Gleipnir, and we're still waiting on a season 2 for that, so I would really like to see that. Currently doing Do It Yourself, which is airing right now, and I'm very much enjoying that show. The artwork is super unique for that, and I really like that about the show. Not a huge list of things that they've done, but everything that I have seen by them, I have liked, and that's always good to hear. I have really only picked like comedy romance shows this season, like Angels Next Door, comedy romance, Tomo-chan, comedy romance, Spy Classroom, comedy romance, Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible, comedy romance. So I guess you could say that I have like a type of show that I really enjoy. Handyman Saito in Another World. Saito's never been anyone special, but his unremarkable path takes a turn when he wakes up in another world. After all, who other than the handyman could be trusted to open locked treasure chests or to repair equipment? I really enjoy these kind of comical takes on isekai. Like this season right now we have reincarnated as a sword, and just by the name you're like, what the hell? This guy dies, gets reincarnated as a sword. And now we have a handyman isekai, so I don't know what he's gonna do, like just fix things, and I think that's hilarious. The isekai genre has, a lot of people have been saying it's kind of been just way overdone. I really like how they can take a spin on an overdone genre and turn it into something like this by adding new aspects like reincarnating as something completely out of the blue. Like no more overpowered people. That's been done 1,000 times. Now we have handymen, swords. I think everyone's heard about the vending machine. The possibilities are like endless with this, and I really enjoy seeing the new things. Speak of the Devil, C2C has also done reincarnated as a sword. I've only seen 3 of the shows that they've done, but I've liked all of them. The Wandering Witch and Hitori Bochi, all great shows. So I'm expecting pretty good things from this. No season is complete without your trash dumpster fire of a show, and that is My Life as Inukai-san's Dog. They say every dog has his day. That's especially true for our protagonist, who has just turned into a dog and now lives every day under the care of his crush, Inukai-san. She happily dotes on her new companion, and while he wants to return to human form someday, there's something wonderful about being cared for by the person he loves. I didn't know anything about this. I still don't know much about this. I really just chose it by the name, but Luke did tell me that it's pretty much just ecchi trash. So I'm expecting ecchi trash. The studio has done one other show, Miss Kuroitsu's Monster Development Department, which was a very fun show to watch. As per every season, I do have to have like a standard isekai just to see what's going on, and that is saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement. Mitsuha is an 18-year-old girl who's often mistaken for a middle schooler due to her childlike face and small stature. The story begins when she loses her parents and her older brother at the same time in an accident and ends up all alone in the world. She fails her university entrance exams due to the shock of losing her family. There are people who are after her parents' insurance money. She doesn't know whether she should go to college or start working. There are also lots of expenses to worry about, including living expenses and the cost of maintaining the house. One day, as she worries about how she'll survive, she's given a world jumping ability by a mysterious being that allows her to go back and forth between this world and the isekai. Now that she has this ability, she comes up with a plan for the future in which she saves 1 billion yen in each world for a total of 2 billion yen or 80,000 gold coins. I do kind of like how she can go back between the different worlds. That's kind of a different take on the isekais. This is being done by Felix Film. They did Aharen-san, which was very fun, Nekopara, which was great, and that's all I've seen by them. And both of those shows were good, so I'm expecting pretty good things from this. I know isekais can be way overdone and get very boring, and maybe that's what we'll get out of this, but I do enjoy watching them every now and again. Onimai, I Am Now Your Sister. Mahiro Oyama was just a normal, erotic, game-loving dude until he woke up one morning as a woman. Turns out his mad scientist little sister, Mihari, tried out one of her new experiments on him with a disastrous outcome as far as Mahiro is concerned. But Mihari is as determined to study him as he is determined to go back to his shut-in game-playing life, and one thing's for sure, life is going to get a whole lot weirder from here on out. This just sounds like another kind of dumpster fire trash show, but we're here for it. Let's see what else Studio Bind has done. They did Jobless Reincarnation. It's kind of on par, in a way. I don't exactly know what to expect from this. The art style looks really cool. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm expecting kind of a dumpster fire with this one. Last but not least on our list is Nijiyon Animation. This is basically just Love Live Nijigasaki in chibi form. And this might be one of my most anticipated shows because I really like Love Live. And this is just that in chibi form, I think. There is no synopsis. I think it's just following it's following a 4-koma manga, which is basically just what Azur Lane Slow Ahead was. So every episode is going to be its own little thing, and that was very fun to watch. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm very much looking forward to this. Alright, that takes us to the end of the Winter 2023 shows. These are shows that are going to be starting off the year for the anime, and they seem pretty strong. There are a lot of season 2s, like I said earlier. A lot of the newer shows seem pretty good. There's nothing brand new that really sticks out like crazy to me, so I'm hoping everything kind of beats out the expectations that I have for it. If there's anything that I'm watching that you think I should just skip as a whole, please feel free to let me know about that too. If you didn't know, I also have a podcast, so you can check that out in the description below. That is the Hello Harem podcast. I also have a clothing brand, Mikan Clothing, which will also be in the description below. As always, thank you for watching, and here's to hoping that this is a great season of anime.